Challenger.
Ho ho, looks like these two have more beef than a Philly cheesesteak.
Round 1. Fight.
Let's see what they try to do here in the first round. Puts one in the pocket. It's the start of the round. How will they start their approach? Player 1 pushes the opponent into the corner. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. They break things off to take a quick breather. Feeling out the spacing. Player 1 needs to deal with this burnout. One fighter's drive gauge is just about empty. Can they recover or are they in trouble here? Reads them. Heading into the end game now. It's KO. Player 2 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round 2. Fight.
Decides to buff up while they can. The next round is beginning. What's gonna happen now? Absorbs the attack and fires back. Experiencing burnout. Risky up-close scrap still going. All right, what's coming up next? Player 1 will have to deal with this dangerous bout of burnout for a while. Out of drive gauge. Now's the time. Sneaks in above. Knockdown and Saihasho. This is gonna hurt. Life lead is there, but still anyone's game. KO. We're going into the final round tied up. Which fighter has it in them to grind out the win?
Final round. Fight.
The Kriglov skewers them. The last round. It's now or never. Kriglov. Not much movement, but the thinking caps are definitely on. Both fighters have a full super meter on deck. The winner will be the one who manages it best. Cross that off! Player 1 needs all in with a rush! What's next? Player 2 is looking at a grim situation with burnout. Jump in with the crosser. Ooh, you never know what can happen here. Medium kick into. Player 2 is in a very good spot. Turns out. Where's this going? There's no way they did that. Breaks it. Player 1 can't use any drive moves. Gotta play it safe. They're just gonna go for it with the super. They are done. Player 2 was definitely sweaty during that well-earned win.
Round 1.
It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Bumps while they're blinking. Springs forward with the drive rush. The properties that attacks get from a drive rush make them a great tool for creating chances like that. The Fuha stalk to the brim. Look for them to turn up the heat now. What are they thinking here? Uses the drive rush here to steal their turn. This is the range where things get messy. Can they utilize their reach or bait each other out? Goes for a projectile to try and change the pace. Adds a little super juice into this combo for more damage. A little too greedy. Knockdown. Burnout activates. Life lead is there, but still anyone's game. Throwing some shades. Hanging on for dear life. A gutsy fireball gives them the round. Player 1 on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight.
Immediate jumping. Who's going to start things off? Did well to get the buff in there. Saihasho to start something? Still very early in the round. They're still feeling each other out. Player 1 is working with a better game. What can they do with it? Anthony! A quick breather. Took him to the corner in a flash. Chases them into the corner and will now look to do some damage. Now, can they finish the job? Looks like they both relied a lot on their drive arts. Drive gauge is looking bad. What do they do now? Player experiencing burnout. Picks up the counter. This is going to be huge. Player 1 will look to apply pressure here. Life lead is there, but still anyone's game. Who will set the bait at this range? Pings them with the closes it out. Player 1 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Decides to buff up while they can. Gets the jump in. Starts with a jump in. You can open up chances to do big damage by baiting something out, getting that opening, and then jumping in. Player 1 creates a good corner opportunity. Keeping them in the corner will only produce more damage opportunities. Uses the drive rush here to steal their turn. Limited resources at hand right now. Player 1 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. Okay, they trade hits. Are we gonna see a comeback? KO! Player 1 takes the round like a thief in the night. What else can they get away with?
Round 2. Fight!
Oh, they were looking for that overhead. Gets the jump in. Still very early in the round. They're waiting for the opportunity to bust this match wide open. Player 1 creates a good corner opportunity. Huge opportunity here with no way to backdash out of danger. Player 2 can't use any drive moves without burning out. Tree glove. A trade fires off the Tenora. The super doesn't hit. Going in. Player 1 needs to use the threat of the corner here. Gets the combo. Anti-air in the clutch. Can they create an opportunity for themselves to seal the experiencing burnout? That's a big gap. Who's going to close it? Saihasho? Buffs up. Saihasho, this is gonna hurt. Overhead, but it won't work. The super doesn't hit. Lays down a Saihasho. Uses their drive gauge. Player 1 is in a very good spot now. Closing moments of the match. One hit's gonna do it. Curls him from above. Chiku-sen. Amazing. They both decide to ease the tension and back. Will this super art do anything? Flatline zone. Gotta hand it to both of our fighters. They put on a real clinic for us. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Shows a medium kick. Gets the jump in. Parries the attack and parry here puts drive gauge in the bank, which really could help later in the round. Maintains composure and pushes out of the corner. Deftly shuts out the jump in. Player 1 has used up all of their drive gauge. They need to hold out. Player 1 is in burnout. Drives off the table. Not shy with the grab. This is where things will get interesting as the damage starts to pile up on both fighters. Knockdown. Recovers from burnout. The quarter makes it hard to escape. What'll be the KO? Player 1 on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight!
Are we going to see some fireworks here? Gets a risky buff in. Player 1 is maintaining the corner position for some hits him with a stopping bomb. Goes with a safe stuff with that target. Knockdown and player 2 will need to play it conservative until their drive refreshes. That's a big gap. Who's going to close it? Going in? Drive gauge is looking bad. Experiencing burnout. Burnout activation. Oh, let's go. Throwing some shade. Low heavy, but no go. Barely blocks the jump in. Manages to block. Ooh, does him dirty. They're in lane. Sets up with the jump in. Closing moments of the match. One hit's gonna do it. Player 2 needs to hold. Cashes out the cage right there. This is gonna kill. No doubt about it. What a finish! Player 1 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak.
Round one.
It's not over yet. Let's believe it's time for that run. That's a counter. Throwing some shade. Strings it all together. Decent damage. What's next? Player 2 has a slight likelihood that they may sit him. Sees it coming and blocks it out. Blocks the impact, but they're still pushed back. A dangerous range here. You don't want to get jumped on a long recovery move, or you're going to eat tons of damage. Player 1 pushes the opponent into the corner. Huge opportunity here with no way to backdash out of danger. Player 1 doesn't have a lot of drive gauge to play with. Not a good thing. Strings it all together. Taking stock. Good job blocking the jump in. They're showing us just how patient they can be. Did well to get the buff in there. Oh, easy tech. Life lead opens up. Quarter makes it hard to escape. What'll be the setup here? Player 2 has completely used all of their drive gauge, but they still have enough life. KO! Player 2 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round 2. Fight.
Gets a risky buff in. Low heavy hits. Mix up incoming. Scrapping it out up close. Whoop drive rush to keep it going. Okay, so you can use drive rushes just like that to launch attacks from much further away. It's a good spot to use the super. Kaisen Dankaraku connect. They're gonna score huge damage off this. Ooh, they're gonna feel that. Here we go. Player 2 is in a pretty good situation with a meter advantage. Solid anti-air. We have super arts on deck. The throw is denied. Player 1 needs to use the in there. Last round, people. Both fighters gotta go all in from this point.
Fight. Round. Fight.
Pokes with a kick. Hits them with a stopping block. Uses all in with a rush. Player 2 can build off this lead. There's been some back and forth, but no one has dominated the fight. Puts a bit of stank on that with an overdrive arm. Low heavy, but no go. Loads up above? What are they gonna do? Carried to the corner. This face burns out. Knockdown. Here comes the mix-up. Both sides. This is gonna hurt. Wraps it up with a throw. Player 2 was an absolute beast in that match. It's not over yet. Let's believe it's time for that run back. Manages to block the jump-in attack. Player 1 chases them down. Huge opportunity here with no way to backdash out of danger. Opts for the throw. Uncomfortable space here. Can they clip each other on the edge? Player 1 will be in a world of hurt if their drive gauge runs out. The Vuha stalk to the brim. Look for them to turn up the heat now. Player 1 is in burnout. Drives off the table. They can open up this round big by converting this punishment. Both players with no drive in the tank. Projectile to try and change the situation. Both sides are going to have to fight without drive. So they break forward to pressure the opponent. Player 2 has depleted their drive gauge, but KO! Player 2 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round 2. Fight.
Who's going to start things off? Was looking for the hit them with a stopping block. Who will gain control of the match in the early going? Torvalite! Player 2 has a slight life lead. Time to sit on the lead. Springs forward with a drive rush. Player 2 in dire straits with burnout. Out of drive gauge. Now's the time. Player 2 doesn't have a lot of drive gauge to play with. Not a good thing. Digs in deep to get that drive in. Medium kick hits. Side Husho to start something. Knockdown and what a finish! This is the final round. Expect to see some fireworks.
Fight. Round. Fight.
starts things off with a jump in. The drive impact is denied. Goes for the jump in. That feeling up snaps back and hits hard with a 10 in. Both fighters have a full super meter on deck. Crowns him from above. Sticks out a kick. Barely blocks the jump in. Lots of nothing stops this train. Player 2 burns out. Ooh, you never know what can happen here. Player 2 is looking at a grim situation with burnout. Here comes the corner pressure. All stocked up, knocks them out of the air. Player 1 with the wrist send them to another dimension. Okay, here we go. Goes to the air. The drive, there's a burnout. Back into the corner. What setup do they have? Player 1 can't use any. Ooh, put a little X. Are you kidding me? Player 2 was definitely sweaty during that well-earned win. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Checks with a medium beat. Hits them with a stop and pop. Were they baiting them into that? Amazing concentration on display as they punished when their opponent's attack left them wide open. Ooh, will they hit, whiff, or even charge in? Tricky territory here. Player 1 creates a good corner opportunity. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Hits with the overhead. The grab misses. Well-timed corner switch. Picks up the win with the projectile. Good read. Player 1 on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight.
Jump. Gets the parry in and adds some pressure. Not a perfect parry, but I'll take it. Grabs him. All right, what's coming up next? Checks with a medium kick. Drive gauge management here is going to be vital. Player 1 will look to apply pressure here. Hits him with a stop and block. Uses the target combo as a filler. The throw missed. Both fighters have a full super meter experiencing burnout. Tourmaline. Quick breather. The engagement low, heavy, but no go. Flatline zone. Here's the final round. The real fight starts now.
Fight round. Fight.
Bumps while they're blinking. Closes in. Pushes that off and keeps going. Goes all in with a rush. Amazing. Player 2 is on the brink of disaster. Ooh, you never know what can happen. Oh, yo, rock super here. There's a drive impact. It's back with the drive impact on the recovery. This punish counter presents a huge chance. There's a burnout. Player 2 is in burnout state. A very... No! Stand off the wall! Jury's going to a dark place. Kai Senjankai Raku! Slams the super. Time for dessert. Noticeable life lead. Is a comeback still possible? Betting it all on the drive rush. Player 1 is in a very good wall splat into the guard break. Player 1, the drive impact doesn't deny the jump in attempt. Player 1 was an absolute beast in that match. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Buffs up. Goes for the jump in. Player 1 chases them down. Huge opportunity here with no way to backdash out of danger. Lots of aggression from both sides. What's the play here? Blocks the jump in. Both fighters are sitting on a full drive gauge. This might be prime time to let it rip. Overdrive arts give moves a big power boost at the cost of using some of the drive gauge, so meter management is vital. Player 1, will this super art connect? Order makes it hard to escape. What'll be the setup here? Player 1 needs to deal with this burnout. One fighter's drive gauge is just about empty. Can they recover or are they in trouble here? Both players with no drive in the tank. Very solid corner switch. Throws them to negate the block. Life lead opens up. Jumps. Player one, there's the wall splat. They can't do anything now. Sees it coming and blocks it out. Their spacing is so on point right now. But who's gonna blink first? Saihasho decides to buff up while they can. In there! Player one on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight!
Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Okay, they trade hits. Big count, brushes that off and keeps going. Baits out the attack and gets the punish counter. That's how you force your opponent to do what you want so you can get a punish. Player one needs to use the threat of the corner here. Big chance here to do some damage if they can keep the corner pressure up. Throwing some shade. Quick breather. They were expecting that drive impact. Excellent block to shut out the impact. Player one holding on to that corner advantage. Knockdown and player one with KO. Player one brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. How is this rematch going to play out? Are we going to witness a blow up here? Grabs him. Decides to buff up while they can. Deal some damage with that quick combo. What are they thinking here? Player one pushes the opponent into the corner. Combo with the target combo. Player two down to the wire. Heading into the end game now. It's getting tense. Gets him. Player one on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight!
They've piled up the knowledge. Now, how are they going to use it? Can't tech the throw? Closes the gap for the grab. Player one chases them down. Hits them with a stop and pop. Player experiencing burnout. Super on deck for both fighters. Expect to see some fireworks. Player two doesn't have a lot of drive gauge to play with. Not a good thing. Out of drive gauge. Now's the time. The throw whiffs. Lots of two-hop bank and plenty of avenues to race through. Both fighters planning something? Fires off the Tenobo. The super doesn't hit. Player one will have to deal with this dangerous out of work. The drive impact doesn't work. A jump in connects with the throw. Crowns him from above. There's the drive impact. Right all in with the rush. Both sides getting ready. Hits them with the drive impact. Here's the final round. The real fight starts now.
Fight! Round! Fight!
Open, sets up with the jump in. Throws him. Takes advantage of the hesitation and gets some good damage in return. Super arts on deck for both. Throws that off. Player one can't use overhead attack. Nails the three ball. Player one has a big truck, burns out. Noticeable life overhead. They are done. Gotta hand it to both of our fighters. They put on a real clinic for us. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Portable line incoming. Breaks the block with a throw. Good work staying in throw range there. Player one chases them down. The pressure continues as they can't escape the corner. They need to find a way out. Player one is just about out of drive after that. The drive gauge is completely empty, meaning their ability to block is also weak. Both players with no drive in the tank. Okay, creating some space here. All right, what's coming up next? Did well to get the buff in there. Both fighters are trying to decide their next move. They're being absolutely relentless with this fireball press. Fires off the Chernobyl. The super doesn't hit. Player 2 chases them down. Gotta be careful not to whiff at this range. They don't need to go for any Chernobyl. KO! Player 2 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round 2. Fight!
Are we going to see some fireworks here? Player 2 kept their drive gauge topped off through that round and still took the win. Guess they didn't need it. Let's see how... Were they baiting them into that? It's back with the drive impact on the recovery. This punish counter presents a huge chance. Player 1 is in a fires off the Chernobyl. The super doesn't hit. Hits them with a stop and pop. Goes with experiencing burnout. Player 2 has an empty drive gauge. This is a very precarious situation. Let the Chernobyl rip! Excellent read! Player 2 needs to hold out until their drive gauge recovers. Sayasho! Player 1 is in a very good spot now. The drive impact doesn't work. What a read with that anti-air! This is the final round. Expect to see some fireworks.
Final round. Fight!
Ooh, what a smart throw! Meets them air to air! Player 2 needs to use that drive gauge better if they want to take things back. There's the drive impact that's going to lead to a juicy punish counter. Spends it all on the super! Not shy one bit about it! Make smart use of the game. Walls flat into the guard break. Nails the 3-ball. Player blows that off. Target all in with a rush. Pokes with a kick. A real test of nerves here. Shifts them for the win. Player 1 is a force to be reckoned with. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run. Throwing some shade. Did well to get the buff in there. The Fuha stalked to the brim. Look for them to turn up the heat now. Almost had it, but he gets blocked. Drive impact is blocked, but takes a bite out of the drive gauge to apply some pressure. Player 1 pushes the opponent into the corner. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Player 2 will be in a world of hurt if their drive gauge runs out. Holds out with the block. That drive impact doesn't get through. Nice! Sees the combo through and takes the round. Player 1 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight!
How will they take advantage of everything that's happened up until now? Did well to get the buff in there. Both fighters want to establish themselves early on. Both fighters are looking for a way to get in, but there's still time to feel out this. Brushes that off and keeps going. Box him with a target. Burnout activated. Player 2 in dire straits with burnout. Out of drive gauge. Now's the time. Blocks him. Perfect parry. How will they follow up? Chernobyl. Experiencing burnout. Their spacing is so... Ooh, what a smart throw. Player flow heavy, but no go. Life lead is there, but still anyone's game. And whiff, they're wide open. The low block. Player 1 passes out the cage right there. Closing moments of the match. Send them to another dimension. That combo finishes it. We're going into the final round tied up. Which fighter has it in them to grind out the win?
Final round. Fight!
Loads up above? Grounds them from above. Barely blocked. Ooh, what a smart throw. Ooh, solid anti-air. Finds the target. Buffs while they're blinking. Blows that off. Player 1 can't let the overhead be denied. All stocked up. Clutch anti-air. Wall flat into the guard break. Nails the 3-ball. Are they going to be able to pump the brakes on the impact? Player 1 is in a very good spot now. This is a complete shutdown. They can't escape. All in with the rush. Goes all out with the super art. Looking meaty. Bob Sesame. They are done. Player 1 has got to be feeling good getting the win out of that absolute carnage.
Round 1.
It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Somehow manages to block the jump in. Jumps up. Perfect parry. How will they follow up? Amazing read to flash the parry just in time to catch the attack. Player 2 is just about out of drive after that. Finds the time to squeeze in a buff. Now they get pushed into the corner, where it's going to be very difficult to escape. Player 2 needs to deal with this burnout. All right, what's coming up next? The grab misses. Okay, they trade hits. I can't keep track of these corner switches. Life lead opens up. One chance here may end this match. Player 1 in trouble with no drive. They were expecting that drive impact. Closing moments of the match. They were not cleared for takeoff. Player 1 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round 2. Fight.
Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Player 1 needs to use the Predator corner game. Keeping them in the corner will only produce more damage opportunities. Jumps in. Going in. Brushes that off and keeps going. Nice block on the overhead. Looks like they both relied a lot on their drive on. Player 1 holding on to that corner and experiencing burnout. Player 2 will have to, and whips! They're wide open! Player 1 burns out! Fires off the turnover! And they create an opportunity for themselves to seal the deal. This at least is what a finish! Here's the final round. The real fight starts now.
Final round. Fight.
Jumps. Turnover. The super doesn't hit. Loads up a bump. Excellent block. Oh, the throw connects. Both sides. Stone cold and break. You can't block those. Oh my God, they just choked it up. Player 2 can't let this simmer. They gotta start cooking. What? Anti-air. Oh man, nothing stops this train. There's the drive impact. There's the burnout. Very nice free blow. What now? Solid anti-air. That big this time to bust this out. It is over. Player 2 clinches the win! But that could have been anyone's game. No way we could have called that. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Keeps him out. Sets up with the jump in. Hits him with a stop and pop. Things are slow going right now, but we may see someone speed things up soon. How are they going to deal damage? What's the play here? There's a punish counter. This can lead to something very big if they can capitalize. Punish is there with the driving attack, really laying on the pressure. At this range, many attacks can connect if you stick something out. The neutral game is very important here. Takes a trip. Player 1, there's the drive impact that's going to lead to a juicy punish counter. Solid combo. Departure. Gets some. Player 1 on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight.
Are we going to see some fireworks here? Big counter. They trade. Fires off the turnover. The super doesn't hit. throws them. What's next? That throw will do some good damage. Confirm on the impact. Not a counter, but they'll take it. Gets a risky buff in. Experiencing burnout. Player 1 has an empty drive gauge. This is a very precarious situation. Going in. Max burnout activates. Throwing some shade. Their spacing is so on point right now. But who's gonna blink first? So, what's next? Player 1 is barely low heavy, but no go. Player 1 will look to apply pressure here. Can they create an opportunity for them? There's a wall splash. They can't do anything now. The Kaisen Dankanraku connects. They're gonna score huge damage off of this. Look at the Chernobyl whip. Excellent read. No way. That win wasn't luck. That was 100% planned. Player 1 gets the win in a convincing fashion. Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Big throws. Player 1 chases them down. The impact gets blocked. Drive impact is blocked, but takes a bite out of the drive gauge to apply some pressure. Alright, they throw them into the corner. They're looking to keep the pressure on and do some damage. Chasing them down, peppering them with hits and throws is the way to get them in the corner. I wonder how both fighters will adapt to what we've seen so far. Player 1 can't let their drive gauge run out. They need to find a way to reset the situation. No more drive gauge. The quarter makes it gets them. Player 1 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round 2. Fight.
Buffs up. Are we going to see some fireworks here? Jumps up, fires off the Chernobyl. The super doesn't hit. Player 1 will want to take advantage of their meter lead while they have it. Springs forward with the drive rush. The properties that attacks get from a drive rush make them a great tool for creating chances like that. You've got to be mindful of reach and jump-ins at this range. Drive rush to keep it going. Player 1 will look to apply pressure here. Big chance here to do some damage if they can keep the corner pressure up. Anti-air drops. They just said, get that jumping out of here. The life remaining tells us we're halfway through this match. Burnout activated. The super doesn't hit. Uses the gauge for a super art. Yo, are they actually dead? They're not dead. This fight's not over. Went for the chip kill. Player 1 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. That attack landed for a counter hit. They'll have to decide how to follow up. Player 2 with the life lead. Can they exploit this advantage? Okay, takes them all the way to the corner. Good job here in giving themselves a chance to gain the upper hand. Blocks it just in time. They must have anticipated a super art coming. Player 1 needs to deal with this burnout. In a dire situation, they can't afford any mistakes. What's their game plan here at this critical stage? Player 1 has completely used all of their drive gauge, but they still have enough life left to take the round if they place up tap to close it. Player 2 on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight.
Who's going to start things off? Impacts are no go. You can block impacts, but you're going to lose some drive gauge when you do. The fighters continue to check each other in the early going. Knockdown. Experiencing burnout. Player 1 needs to deal with this burnout. Out of drive gauge. Now's the time. Hit them with a stop and pop. Burnout activates. They're both drive gauge. This is gonna get messy. Grabs and throws them away. Buffs up. This is a complete shutdown. They can't escape. What's next? Player 1 fires off the Genovo. Excellent read. Medium kick into and eats it. Any mistake here is gonna be fatal. Flatline zone. Here's the final round. The real fight starts now.
Final round. Fight!
Who's going to steal this win? Denies the jump, hits him with a stopping block. The punish counter gives them a great opening here to do big damage. Is it time for pleasure? Time for pain? As far as jury's concerned, they're kind of the same. Make smart. Oh, yo! For him! Player 2 has the super gauge advantage. Nowhere to run. That combo finishes it. Player 1 gets the win in a convincing fashion.